Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to a regular and executive session of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, also sitting as all special taxing districts. Today is Monday, November the 3rd. It is 9 a.m. We'd like to excuse Chairman Porteous, who is traveling today. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. And we will call this meeting to order. I would like to invite Supervisor Pancrazzi to lead us in the pledge.
Will everyone please rise and join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I will open up the call to the public. Do we have any emails?
No, we do not.
Okay. Call to public is held for the public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statutes, action taken as a result of public comment would be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomment@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comment will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. I have 3 speaker forms. First one, we have Larry Deason and Howard Blitz.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Larry Deason. I'm a retired, really old lawyer.
No such thing.
Retired for so long, most of you probably don't know me.
I know you.
Yes.
But I'm old too.
My habit these days, I have a coffee group that I belong to. I go to coffee twice a week. And not long ago, one of our group, a good friend of mine, passed away, and in his library, his widow found a book that she glanced at and she thought I would really enjoy. And so I've read it, and I can't say it changed my life because my life is so old, but and I've talked to Howard at length about this book, and Howard's going to present them to you right now. There's a copy of this book. It's titled The 5,000-Year Leap, but it deals with the founders of our country and the principles upon which they based the creation of our Constitution. And this book was just amazing to me. And I have to admit to you, when I went to law school a long, long time ago, constitutional law was the hardest class I took. In fact, I think I'm not sure. It's so long ago now. I'm not sure about this. I either flunked it or came awfully close to flunking that class. I did, however, graduate, so it's all okay. But when you see this book, you'll find there's the 28 principles upon which they based the founding of our or the creation of our Constitution. And I want to commend you because one of them is that it's important to have an educated electorate. And I want to commend you on your use of the television and those things to educate the electorate. And I hope you will continue to do that and do it in as many ways as possible. But I hope you enjoyed this book even close to as much as I have. It's just been really educating to me. And but thank you very much, and thank you for your service, and we hope that you will enjoy the book.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, Larry thought.
Howard, could you step to the microphone just so that people at home can hear?
Larry thought that you would be interested in this book because the 28 principles, these are the 28 principles we teach at the Freedom Library. By the way, I'm Howard Blitz, and I'm the founder director of the Freedom Library. And we offer a class on the U.S. Constitution. And we use these 28 principles to teach from. And Larry thought, I'm here for moral support for Larry because he's the one that came up with the idea, and I thought it was a great idea. And by reading this book, and we just thought it would be great for your library so that you would have a resource for governance. You guys are part of a governing body here in Yuma. And Larry thought it would be a great idea, and I thought it would be a great idea for you guys to have all this so that you can refer to it. Because in the writings and the teachings of the founders, we learn their ideas on governance and what they thought. And one of the principles is Principle 21, how a strong local government is imperative for a free society. So we wish you well. We hope you enjoy the book. We really do.
Thank you. Do you want to give them to the clerk?
I'm sorry?
I said, would you like to give them to the clerk, or do you want to hand them to us? Doesn't matter.
That way.
Well, thank you.
There's one.
I have one other thing I wanted to say to you. I
Thank you, sir.
two copies of this book to, I don't know, you're probably familiar with Congressman Eli Crane from Tucson.
He actually grew up in Yuma.
That's what I wanted to point out. I wanted to make sure you were aware of that
Played football
resource.
at Savola.
And I sent him 2 copies, one for him to read and one for him to give to a colleague. And in my letter to him, I said, even if it was a Democrat that he gave it to. But I'm told that Eli, who I knew as a child, I'm told that Eli was a good friend of Charlie Kirk's. And I would be willing to bet if we could get into Charlie Kirk's personal library, you would find a copy of this book. And I think I hope you will enjoy it.
Thank you for committing this book to us.
Yes, thank you.
My parents started reading this to me when I was about 10 years old. So,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, neat.
We got most of it already.
I've got a lot of it. Good to review again. Suzanne Morgan.
Good morning, Ms. Chairman Lyons and board members. I really appreciate you taking time to hear my comments this morning. My name is Suzanne Morgan, and I am a native of Yuma.
Excellent. Good friends.
My concerns regard the apparent lack of county policy. I'm not completely knowledgeable about this, but county policy that addresses unnecessary loud noise, more precisely loud music from late night parties in Yuma's residential areas outside of the city limits. I live just outside of the city limits near Avenue D, and over the years, nearby residents have thrown some pretty large get-togethers, complete with bands and DJs and karaoke and strobe lights and so on. We can hear the music loud and clear in our houses with our doors shut and our TVs on, and to the point that my windows have actually been shaken by the bass of this music. If the party is within the city limits, just a short distance from our neighborhood, our Yuma PD responds very quickly. They are amazing. And they've been very successful in shutting down the disruptive noise. And I think their success comes partially, at least from the fact that the noise by ordinance has to stop at 10 o'clock p.m. If the party's in the county, however, things are a little different. Deputies, again, they've been wonderful about responding to our calls. I absolutely adore our Yuma County deputies. They're wonderful. And they do what they can to at least tone down the excessive noise. But unfortunately, the party hosts and hostesses are not always considerate, either to the deputies or the neighbors' request for peaceful nights. The latest party went on, and this was just a few days ago, and I'm not using hyperbole, it was booming through the neighborhood until 1 a.m. Deputies made contact with the folks, I believe 3 times, beginning around 10:30 or 11, and it was only sometime after 1 a.m. that the music finally quieted. and there is truly no way of escaping the excessive noise, just short of driving into town and getting a hotel room. As a consequence to the disruption, I realize that deputies can eventually charge people with disorderly conduct. Not that I really want my neighbors charged, but to do so, they have to continue going back again and again to try to convince the partiers to just be considerate. And of course, this then takes time away from the deputies who really have an awful lot to do, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. Deputies' hands are tied in part because it appears in Yuma County there's no limit to the time. A party can go on throughout the night in a residential area, loud and disruptive, because there's no mandated time to limit the noise. I think we need a time frame, an ordinance of some sort, similar to that we have in Yuma, the city of Yuma. And I believe that is at 10 p.m. to 7 o'clock a.m. There are plenty of resident areas outside of the Yuma city limits. Mine's not the only one, and these citizens deserve to have some peace and quiet in their neighborhood, just as people in the city deserve that quiet. I urge you to consider researching, writing, and hopefully passing an ordinance that limits the noise of this sort to daytime hours between 7 and 10 p.m. in the county's residential areas outside of Yuma. And folks, we all enjoy a good party. There's nothing against that. I'm really against the excessive noise that disturbs our neighbors' peace. And thank you so much for hearing my comments.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. Ian, would you work with her?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Marilyn Whittington and company.
And partner in crime.
PIC.
Good morning, Vice Chairman Lines,
Good morning.
and Supervisor Pancrazi, and Supervisor Reyes, and my District 3 Supervisor, Mr. Simmons. My name is Marilyn Whittington, and this is Sharon Perry. We are registered nurses. Although we are retired, we remain very active volunteer members of various professional nursing organizations, as well as some other non-nursing Yuma community organizations. We are here this morning as members of the Southern Arizona Nurse Honor Guard. This is a nonprofit nursing organization which encompasses the southern region of Arizona from Sierra Vista, Tucson, and Yuma. The mission of the Nurse Honor Guard is to comfort the families and loved ones by honoring a nurse with the Nightingale Tribute after their passing, for their dedication and their commitment in their compassionate service to others. The tribute acknowledges the end of duty for the honored nurse. We also perform a living tribute to nurses at the end of their life when they're under hospice care. Our services are provided free of charge at the request of the family, and it typically comes from the mortuaries or the hospices who are aware of our services. This Friday, November 7th, at 10:15 a.m., we are dedicating a bench in Gateway Park, just that way, right below the locomotive and the Hilton Garden Inn at Pivot Point. Right down the steps. If you can't do the steps like me, then you park under the overpass and walk the little short trail. It'll be a short dedication. We will also be doing and performing the Nightingale Tribute for nurses who have passed. We will be in full uniform. We will share what we do, how to contact us, how to join us as a nurse. And so Sharon's going to show a few things. The traditional ceremony in our traditional uniform includes the Florence Nightingale lamp, if you didn't know, the chimes, we ring chimes, and a white rose, a tribute box, and a folder is what is presented to the family at any service. We perform services at any location requested, indoors and outdoors. We were honored to recently perform this last year to perform our tribute along with the presence of the military branch for 2 nurse veterans. Our members are nurses honoring nurses either after their passing or near the end of life. So once again, please join us this Friday, 10:15 a.m. It will be a short dedication We welcome all the Yuma community residents to attend and to learn more about us. We will also be, this is our third year, we will be marching in the Yuma Veterans Day Parade next week. We thank you for allowing us to share our story with you, with the Board of Supervisors here today. Our website and contact information, I am going to give you a flyer here, is on the flyer. I'm going to leave some brochures up front for the community. And just please pay these forward. There you go. Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate that.
And is there a possibility for a short 1-minute photo? We can either just stand in front.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board at this time? All right. We will move on. I will leave the call of public open. Do we have any appointments to Board of Adjustment or Planning and Zoning? Okay, no appointments. We'll go to proclamation number 1, Supervisor Pancrazzi.
Good morning, everyone. Proclaiming the day of November 22nd, 2025 as Adoption Day in Yuma County. Whereas there are currently 1,433 children that are in the Arizona foster care system waiting to be adopted. And whereas in Yuma County, there are currently 134 children in foster care, with 44 of those children having a permanency goal of adoption and 13 waiting for permanent families. And whereas foster care is designed to be temporary, yet the average time a child waits for an adoptive family is approximately 30 months. And whereas National Adoption Day is a collective national effort to find permanent loving families for children in foster care. And whereas on Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, National Adoption Day will be celebrated in all 50 states, offering children the opportunity to live with permanent, stable, and loving families. Therefore, the chairman of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaims the day of November 22nd, 2025 to be Adoption Day in Yuma County. During this time, adoptions will be finalized for children at the Yuma County Juvenile Justice Center. I urge all residents to join in local, state, and national efforts to raise awareness about the importance of becoming a foster parent and consider becoming an adoptive parent during November and throughout the year.
Thank you, Supervisor Pancrazzi. Is Imelda here?
Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
I'm Imelda Arellano Nunez. I'm the new director at Juvenile Justice Center. If I could first say to Supervisor Pancrazzi, it's a little bit surreal to be here with you. I remember you, I was a student at Roosevelt Elementary in 1979, I believe it was. I was in the kindergarten class next door to you.
Yeah.
And I always remember you as a very animated, caring, smiling teacher So on behalf of all the children that you served, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
He hasn't
And she's
changed
a hugger.
much.
She's a hugger, you be careful.
Your hair is white, but that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. I earned every single one of them.
It's an honor to be here. I will say we celebrated National Adoption Day on November 1st. The reason being is our courts are going to be unavailable on November 22nd, which is the traditional National Adoption Day. I'd like to share that 15 children were adopted, ranging from the ages of 9 months to 17 years of age. It was an honor to be there with the families, their smiling faces, celebrating permanency. Judge Farrar, who is our presiding judge, truly cares for the family. She worked with a number of our staff to ensure that they were celebrated. We had cakewalk, we had treats, we had coffee, we had juice, we had bubbles, we had hula hoops, face painting. So it was an honor again to be there with the family, celebrating them. And that was our National Adoption Day. So thank you. And are there any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. But if you'll come forward, we'll take
We'll
a picture.
take a
Melba.
picture with you.
Yes.
Be careful.
We had 2 day kinders, half day kinders. So instead of 24 days, I had.
I always want to be in your class.
Oh, okay. I had 48. So. Sometimes I had 60. Depending on how many kinders there were.
It's a lot of homework.
A lot of psychos.
That's a lot of fun. Tell me about it.
I loved it.
Our next proclamation, Chairman proclaims the week of November 4th through 11th, 2025 to be Operation Greenlight for Veterans Week. Supervisor Simmons.
Ready? Proclaiming the week of November 4th through the 11th as Operation Greenlight for Veterans Week. Whereas the residents of Yuma County have great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas the Yuma County seeks to honor individuals who have made countless sacrifices for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, religious groups, and civil service. And whereas the National Association of Counties encourages all counties, parishes, and boroughs to recognize Operation Greenlight for veterans. And whereas Yuma County appreciates the sacrifices of our United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted. And whereas the Yuma County will light its buildings in green to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom. Therefore, the chairman of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors proclaims the week of November 4th through the 11th, 2025 to be Operation Greenlight for Veterans Week.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Simmons.
Gonna pick up
Frank
the
or
messages.
Mr. Hannah, who's going to address us?
Who's the veteran?
Who's designated? Well, we've got a lot of veterans back
I
there.
know.
We got a lot of veterans.
I was only in the Navy, but
Only
Mike Sanchez was in the senior branch.
That's on tape delay. No, thank you so much for recognizing veterans all around. I'm pretty sure I see a lot of them in the group here today. We're honored to work for the county. My career spans the city of Somerton, state of Arizona, county of Yuma, so I really appreciate this community and I'm glad it honors veterans and the sacrifices they make. Appreciate you guys.
Can we have all of our veterans come forward, line up here, and as you line up, can you tell us who you are and what branch you served in, please?
All the veterans, come up, guys.
All the veterans, come on.
Come on, I
Come
know
on
you
down.
don't want to, but
Thank
come
you.
on up. That's so exciting. Look at that.
Everybody,
All right. Come on, Frank. Come on, everybody.
line up across the entire,
Yeah, entire front.
Here, you're still not filling in.
All right, I want that female in there, yeah. Thank you.
All people need to spread out.
Look at all our veterans.
Step up in front.
a lot of years.
I want to come down too.
Come on down.
No, I'll get over here.
What branch did you serve in? Marine Corps.
All
How
right.
long did you serve?
So 4 years active duty, 2 years reserve.
Thank you for your service. So who's going to win as far as representatives from different branches of the service today? Anybody want to place any bets?
All veterans.
All veterans.
All veterans.
All right. Thank you. You're next.
William Whitley, Marine Corps, 4 years.
Thank you very much for your service.
Robert Kane, 4 years, United States Marine Corps.
Thank you.
Sean Wallace, currently an Air Force reservist.
Excellent. My son is currently serving in the Air Force right now. Sure.
Dennis Owen, 22 years, Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
4 years.
Thank you for your service.
Diana Manoz, U.S. Air Force.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for your service. You're next.
Ruben Payan, U.S. Army, 5 years.
Thank you for your service.
Frank Sanchez, U.S. Army, 8 years.
Thank you, Frank.
Jacob Meyer, U.S. Army, I'm still actively serving in the National Guard.
Thank you for your service.
Daniel Ortiz served in the United States Air Force for 10 years.
Thank you for your service.
James Waddell, retired Staff Sergeant, Marine Corps, and I spent this time in the, a lot of it, in the best kept secret in the Marine Corps, which is Yuma, Arizona.
Thank you for your service.
Gabby Zavala, 4 years, U.S.
Thank you for your service.
Tyler Rayborn, 4 years, U.S. Navy.
Thank you for your service.
Victoria Gonzalez, 8 years, U.S. Navy.
Thank you for your service.
Joseph Paul, 4 years in the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Richard Mendez, 4 years, Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Ray Hanna, United States Navy, 8 years.
Thank you, Ray.
Adrian Hyman, United States Marine Corps, 4 years.
Thank you for your service.
Mike Sanchez, U.S. Army, 4 years.
Thank you for your service.
Noel Moore, 4 years in the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
William Valdez, U.S. Army, 9 years.
Thank you for your service.
Marion Hamp, 4 years, United States
Thank you for your service.
Dennis Zimmerman, 6 years in the U.S. Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Fernando Durazo, National Guard, Army. I just served 6, and I'm on my way to 9.
Thank you for your service. 4 years. Very much appreciate your service. Thank you each and every one of you for your dedication.
Forgot me. I'll tell you what.
Okay, I choked on that one. Darren, go ahead.
Darren Simmons, 8 years, Marine Corps.
Thank you very much for your service. Who's going to accept this proclamation?
All of you.
Everybody? All right, come over here. We'll take a picture.
And we'll stand right here.
Tell people get the back.
They are.
Thank you very much.
Wait, one more.
One more. I didn't see it.
And thank all of you for your service, and some of you, happy birthday, past and near future.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I'll even shake Army's hand.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
I got to pick on him a little.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you very much. I love it.
Sir, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Definitely. It's good seeing you again, Ray.
I didn't know we had so many veterans that work for us.
Oh, and that's not even,
Don't everybody leave at once.
that's just a small section of it.
That's just a small section, huh?
Item number 3, Public Health District, presentation by Diana.
Director Gomez.
Director Gomez. And we're looking forward to a PowerPoint. We're so excited.
Clear room. Good morning.
The room got clear.
Yeah, I know. Vice Chairman Lyons, members of the board, my name is Diana Gomez, I'm Director of Public Health. And I want to do a really quick overview just to let the public know of our intention and our desire to move forward and adopt the 2022 food code, as well as doing a brief overview of the Arizona cottage food law. So without further ado, our environmental health department has several duties. People normally think of them as the restaurant inspectors, but they do a lot of education in the public. They're responsible for the pools, they visit the trailer parks, the school grounds, the daycares, anything that prepares food, any licensed facilities, any bakeries, caterers, distributors, and again, all those events. And as you see, every year we get more community events, which are great. And we've had an excellent collaborative partnership with the local municipalities. And so it's allowed our staff to go forward proactively and a lot of times do that education before the event. Because the last thing you want is to get out there, get ready to do stuff and find out that you're not in compliance. So whenever possible, we get out there beforehand.
And like the Taco Festival and the Tamale Festival.
Yes,
and
all
some
those
of
things. The Tamale Festival, I think, was the first thing that prompted that coordinated effort where there's multiple meetings prior to that to make sure everybody has what they need. There's multiple. The city of Somerton has worked really well with us to make sure that that's a good experience for the people that visit the event as well as the vendors because there's a lot of investment going on there from the vendors. So we want to make sure they have everything they need beforehand. The food code that we had is adopted in 1999, so it's been a while. There's been several updates. We work with the different vendors and we're following the compliance as we go along, but we haven't formally adopted. This is the motion that we're trying to move forward with, the formal adoption. And so the food code, what it does is it standardizes the procedures for food handling, just the basic education that's required, the codes. It also standardizes. Arizona, each county has a different iteration of the food code. So right now, the only one that has the 2022 food code is Cochise County, but they range from 1999, some counties have 2013. So we just want to move forward and make sure we're caught up. So moving forward, especially the mobile vendors that go from different places, they're up to the latest code, and so there's no issue when they're moving from site to site or festival to festival. So again, the differences are basically they're small updates. There's some temperature changes as the science and the new research comes about. Also technology. Those are incorporated into the 2022 food code. So there really wouldn't be any major significant changes to the public. However, it's important that we go into this slowly and we have a lot of public education, make sure that because part of what we do, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that want to start a business. We want to make sure that we set them up right. And one of the things that we're looking forward with the renovation is that expanded space where we're going to have that kitchen area. We're going to be able to do a lot of that education for the public that's willing to do that.
That's part of the updates for your building.
Because a lot of times we do diagrams, we do pictures, we try to educate people, but this would be a chance to partner with people and actually offer that opportunity. You want to start something with, vending food or under the cottage food bill, you can come, you can have one of those classes and be on the right track from the very beginning. The common violations that the inspectors see, again, mostly are, easily correctable. So you see hand washing issues sometimes. Cooling temperatures is a big thing, particularly with food that needs to be shelf stabled. And a lot of times that's a big one because for most people that might be, you might get an upset stomach. But for people that are higher risk, the elderly, pregnant women, people with immunocompromised systems, that's a big issue. And sometimes people don't realize that the sensitive nature of making sure that things are at the right temperature. Improper sanitation, a lot of times the issues are like cross-contamination issues. The cutting boards, you can't use raw food and then use it for veggies, or just the proximity. You can't store those raw foods above the veggies. labeling. Obviously, every time you make something, particularly stuff that's food stable or shelf stable, you label it and mark it. But if it's time sensitive, you need to make sure that you have when it was done and the shelf life of it. And then again, we have a lot of people that, again, want to be entrepreneurial. We respect that, but you have to go to the proper channels. It's a liability not just to you as the vendor, but to the event host that is letting you participate in their event. And again, the intent is to make sure that we support you, but that there's those rules that are meant to prevent people from getting sick. It's a safety issue. It's not that we don't want you to, pursue your business venture. It's just we want to make sure you do it right because it is a liability to you. And most people, when they realize, are very understanding because they want to do the right thing. They want to sell their product, but they want to do it in a safe manner. So the cottage food law is something that has existed in Arizona. Basically, before it was started to allow for the sale of shelf-stable items. So you had a lot of, breads, cookies, things that you would see at bake sales. In 2024, Governor Hobbs expanded that cottage food law to include more things that were perishable, that normally would not have been allowed previously under the previous restrictions. Now, although that expanded it, it still has restrictions. So you can't, no alcohol, no raw milk, a lot of fish or shellfish, obviously nothing that would be marijuana infused. You see those popping up everywhere. That is not allowed. And it allows direct to consumer, meaning if you prepare it in your home and you are registered, this cottage food program is administered by the Arizona Department of Health Services. So it's not at the local level. It's at the state. You have to register. You still have to get a food handler's card, and you have to follow all the safety regulations. But it's expanded that option beyond just like the breads and the cupcakes and those types of things to allow for a broader list. And again, it requires labeling. So it says it has to have when it was cooked or when it was done, so the production date. It has to include all the ingredients. And the reason for that, again, is because just like the commercial ones, there's food allergies, right? So you have to disclose that. You have to have that exact statement. This product was produced in a home kitchen that may come in contact with common food allergens and pet allergens, and it's not subject to public health inspection. So that is just an awareness so that the consumer is aware that that was a product that was created in somebody's kitchen versus something that was in a commissary or by a distributor. Bless you. Our implementation guideline, I see right now is kind of ambitious, and I think maybe what we'll do is we want to get forward with our marketing technique and our strategy. And so we've been doing some outreach. The inspectors have been out, and every time there's an event, there's an educational opportunity, but formally. Want to make sure that we have that information out to our chambers of commerce, to anybody that works with small, that encourages people to start new businesses, to make sure our business community is aware. And so we're looking at the first quarter. I put January, but really anywhere between January and March, coming back to you, and that'll give us some time now that we've formally announced that that's where we want to go, to have the opportunity for the public to give feedback. We've had a couple of interactions with the public, and hopefully come back to you in that quarter and ask for you to consider adopting the 2022 food code. And again, those educational classes will continue, that outreach will continue, but making sure that there's a grace period because again, as people move in or move out, they might not be aware. But hopefully moving forward, if we have that standard, everybody's on the same page. And if you are one of those people that travels from county to county, you will be in a good position because everywhere else you will be full compliance. So again, this is some of the educational materials we see, creating videos, just the handouts that we get. And again, just reminding people of the very basic, very preventive nature of just doing things right.
Diane, have you received any public input so far?
On this, no, we haven't gotten, and I think a part of it is I wanted to do a public forum like this. Then people start talking. Sometimes people don't know to ask because they don't know that's where we're moving. So was really just kind of an introduction so that if people have concerns, it gives us the opportunity to address those. It gives you the opportunity to hear back from the community and the people that you serve, and then we can be responsive to those needs before we full-fledged adopt something and then have to go backwards. We don't want to do that. So we want to, and if that March deadline is not tenable or is not where we want to go, then we can certainly move it. But we want to be proactive all the way. I certainly don't want to do something and then have to go backwards. So that was it.
Wonderful. Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. All right, we'll have the mix with Yuma County and El Condado Informal.
Welcome to The Mix. Yuma County recently hosted officials from all 15 Arizona counties for the 2025 County Supervisors Association Legislative Policy Summit. Over 3 days, county leaders discussed state and federal policy issues affecting local operations and identified key priorities to present to Governor Katie Hobbs and the state legislature.
This is our most important meeting of the year because supervisors across the state, they operate in their communities, they see what's happening locally, but when we all come together, we see where there's commonality across the whole state. And so it builds an esprit de corps among county supervisors, and it helps us identify what matters in public policy to all 15 counties. And so I really enjoy that because I think it builds a great team of county supervisors and helps us all work better to support constituents.
Between meetings, attendees visited local sites around Yuma, gaining insights into the region's economic and cultural landscape.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of preparation. I can't speak highly enough of the CSA staff, but especially of our staff. Our staff worked tirelessly to get it organized, and they did an amazing job.
The event included a dinner at the historic Yuma Territorial Prison, offering guests a memorable experience and a deeper appreciation for Yuma's heritage and community spirit. Recently, Yuma County held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Tacna Water Facility, celebrating a major milestone in improving water quality for the rural community about 40 miles east of Yuma. The modern plant replaces an aging system that had served residents for more than 40 years and provides safe, clean, and reliable drinking water to about 200 homes.
This is a game changer for them. I mean, they've actually got clean water, steady water pressure. First time they've ever had fire hydrants on the streets and around the homes, so that helps their insurance. They needed it to bring them into the 21st century.
Local officials and community leaders attended the event, highlighting the project's role in supporting public health and future growth. The facility ensures Tacna residents will have access to a sustainable water source for years to come. Following the ceremony, county leaders traveled to Welton for a joint special work session with the Welton Town Council to discuss regional priorities, including road projects, transportation funding, and future zoning plans. Foothills Community Park will temporarily close its grass areas from October 28th through November 11th for winter seeding operations. Crews will aerate soil, plant perennial winter grass, and apply fertilizer to prepare for the season. The playground, walking loop, restrooms, and ramanas will remain open. The park will reopen its turf November 12th, ensuring a lush green surface for visitors to enjoy through the winter. Yuma County recently took part in the 9th annual Mayor's Bike Ride, a free family-friendly tour celebrating the region. Riders began at the Yuma Civic Center and made stops in Cocopah, Somerton, Gadsden, and San Luis for refreshments. Mayors and elected officials from across the region and San Luis Rio Colorado, Mexico joined participants along the route. The ride ended in San Luis Rio Colorado with live music, food vendors, and finisher medals. Thanks for tuning in. Residents can catch the latest episode of The Mix by visiting yumacountyaz.gov and navigating to the VOD section. You can also head over to the Yuma County's official YouTube channel. English episodes are available under the Mix playlist, while Spanish-speaking viewers can find the Spanish version under El Condado Informado. Both platforms offer access to current and past episodes. ¿Prefiere ver The Mix en español? No se lo pierda, la versión en español del programa está disponible bajo la lista de reproducción El Condado Informado en el canal oficial de YouTube del Condado de Yuma. Gracias por acompañarnos. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
It's really good.
Wonderful. Great information. Want to take a second to recognize Lynn and her leadership.
Thank
CSA
you.
turning that over, and exceptional preparation with staff.
Oh, staff was
Hosting
amazing.
all the other counties in Yuma. Heard nothing but extremely positive comments from everyone. They thoroughly enjoyed it, despite the fact that we had to pivot from a couple of events due to the government shutdown.
Yeah.
But thank you, Lynn.
Well, thank you. I can't thank our staff enough for all the work that they did to pull it off and to make it as successful as it was. It turned out perfect. So that's what I
And you're
wanted.
now no longer.
Oh, I have one more meeting. I
Okay.
turn the gavel over on November 20th. So, woo-hoo. I can get back to being on it, transportation and some of my other committees that I gave up during that time. So, yeah,
Well, thank you, Lynn.
thank you.
Appreciate your leadership. Darren, anything you want to say about Tacoma Water?
No, just the fact that it's been long overdue, like I said. It's nice. They've got some good clean water to drink that's consistent pressure. I used to live there, so I remember what it was like having water issues for years. So,
That was the cause of the smell, huh?
huh?
That was the cause of the smell.
Yeah. But no, it's, I've heard nothing but gratitude as far as the water services out there now. It's night and day difference.
All right.
Thank you, Diana.
We'll now go to the consent agenda. Sorry about that, Lynn.
I'm sorry. I
That's
just wanted
okay.
to make sure people who got it all organized and got the grants got recognized. So
Lots
thank
of
you.
different grants and lots of different people coming together to make sure that project happens, so thank you, yeah.
And pulling it together.
On the consent agenda, the following items listed on the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion. Unless a board member so requests, in that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. Did any of the board want to pull any of the items?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve items 1 through 16 as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll open the regular discussion calendar, go to financial services, discussion and possible action to direct staff regarding the allocation of interest associated with property tax refunds resulting from the Arizona Department of Revenue valuation adjustments on centrally assessed properties. We'll have a PowerPoint presentation, which I've been looking forward to all weekend, from Humberto del Castillo.
Don't believe that, but
Only because Tony loves them
very,
so much.
very brief presentation.
Hi, Chairman, members of the board, good morning. Yes, this will be a very brief presentation, and it's more oriented to a discussion. My name is Humberto del Castillo, Chief Financial Officer, and I will be sharing a presentation regarding ADR tax refund corrections. The objective of this discussion is to seek board guidance on how to allocate interest from property tax refunds caused by the state, by ADR valuation reductions. And there is a key decision to make. We're seeking guidance from the board. We would like to determine if the general fund should continue absorbing all related refund interest, or if these costs should be distributed among the taxing authorities affected. This decision impacts fiscal equity and long-term sustainability in managing external valuation-driven refund liabilities. Some background on these ADR valuation adjustments. State-valued properties like Agua Caliente Solar last year and in this current year, San Diego Gas and Electric have recently experienced substantial valuation reductions spanning several tax years. In the case of Agua Caliente, it went back to 2016, and I believe San Diego Gas and Electric is going back to 2020. The origins of valuation changes or a reduction in the full cash value were determined by the Arizona Department of Revenue, not the county. These are not errors from local assessments. The refund scope. Tax refunds were issued to affected taxpayers across all taxing jurisdictions within Yuma County, increasing the complexity and fiscal impact. So what is the current practice? What are we doing right now and what has been done in the past? The general fund currently retains all collected delinquent interest and pays all interest on refunds, regardless of the origin of the valuation changes. So what this means is, on all property taxes, delinquent accounts, county collects those revenues. And those revenues are allocated to the general fund. They don't go back to all the taxing authorities. And this has been the practice in the past. And I believe this has been working, but for corrections or for delinquent accounts, this is a different situation. But on that current practice, that does make sense. If there's property accounts with delinquent overdue balances, county collects, it goes back to the general fund. This practice originated during times where interest obligations were minor, and most corrections stemmed from county level adjustments. This is a centralized approach under the general fund and streamlined refund and interest processing. What we are talking about this morning right now, it's different. This is not on delinquent accounts, and this is something external to the county. This is an appeal. There's a judgment that exists. It's on favor of the plaintiff, and this is why I am this morning here sharing this presentation. This is a different situation, and we are proposing different approaches. Some examples, first one, Agua Caliente. Total refund was $9.3 million. The general fund share was $1.83, and the interest obligations of all the taxing authorities was $2.86. General fund absorbed the total of their share plus all of the interest. And the total impact to the general fund was $4.7 million. On the current situation with San Diego Gas and Electric, the total refund is $1.5 million. The general fund share is only $285,000, and the interest obligation is pending determination. These examples demonstrate the growing fiscal burden on the general fund when it absorbs interest costs for all taxing authorities or taxing jurisdictions. We have two options. We do nothing and continue the current practice. The general fund will pay all the refund interest. That is consistent with past precedent and requires no administrative changes. What are the drawbacks or disadvantages of this option? Well, it increases fiscal pressure on county resources for valuation errors originated outside of county control. Or in other words, general fund absorbs the entire interest expense, the entire interest cost. Option two, we use a proportional allocation policy where each taxing jurisdiction or taxing authority pays their share of the interest. Note, every taxing jurisdiction is already paying their share of the principal. It's the interest that the general fund is absorbing 100%. What would this look like? So if we choose to do nothing, general fund absorbs 100%, and we pay $195,000 of interest obligations resulting from the San Diego Gas and Electric adjustment and judgment. If we choose a proportional allocation model, we distribute the interest cost among the taxing jurisdictions. So the general fund would only pay $41,000, and the other jurisdictions would cover $153,000 distributed proportionally among those taxing jurisdictions. what are the affected taxing jurisdictions? Well, we have our general fund, hospital district, county fire, Yuma library, Yuma flood control, school districts, Crane, Hyder, Mohawk, Welton, Antelope, High School, and AWC. This promotes fiscal equity. The example highlights how proportional sharing can significantly reduce general fund exposure while maintaining fiscal integrity. Yuma County has a comparative reference to the County Supervisors Association. Preliminary findings show variation. Some counties choose to charge everything to the general fund. So general fund absorbs 100%. Some counties do the proportional allocation. So there is not a consistent practice amongst all of the counties in the state. But we continue to research and gather policies for additional counties so we can inform the board of what other counties are doing in a similar situation. Finally, the recommendation is to use the proportional allocation refund, so but only and only if the error originates from ADOR or the state. If adopted, the approach would be to maintain the current general fund policy and responsibility for the county-initiated corrections while applying shared costs to externally triggered refunds. So this approach would only apply to errors stemming from ADOR, right? So if the state ADOR overestimates and makes this correction, then we utilize this approach. If it's an internal error, if it's an internal correction for delinquent accounts, we continue using the past practice.
The only time this usually hurts us is when it's retroactive, when they go back.
Excuse me?
The only time, usually when this hurts us is when they make it retroactive, when they go back so many years.
Yes, yes. Imagine going back to 2016, that was a big hit last year. And I mean, going back to 2020 is still a big burden for the general fund to carry by itself.
And Roberto,
yes, sir.
The question I have is what amounts were kept for the county and the general fund in interest? Is it substantial? Because it sounds like it's very little compared to what we need to pay.
It sounds like what, sorry?
It sounds like it's very little compared to what we have to pay. I mean, the policy was, if I understand it correctly, the policy was to keep the interest for the general fund. In the
Yes.
general fund.
From delinquent accounts.
From delinquent accounts. Yeah. So what did that amount to?
I don't have that amount right now, but it's not comparative. It's not significant because for delinquent accounts, it's in the thousands of dollars, and for these we're talking about millions of dollars from last year, and right now it's close to $200,000.
Got it.
Well, I think we should share the interest payment so that all the other districts, the flood control and the library district and the jail district and all those other districts would pay their share of the interest and we would pay our share of the interest.
Only
proportional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only problem you run into that worries me is the fact it's like the East County School District.
Yeah,
You've
the
got
school
all
districts.
4 of them that got hit. Some of them pretty good, and you've already got one school in receivership, which adds to their burden with this lawsuit. You know, right now they're struggling just to keep their head above water, and then to hit them with thousands of dollars more on top of what they've got to come up with.
Can we get an allocation table or something that we can look at the impact it's going to have on the other district? Because it's tough to make a decision when we don't know how much it's going
Each
to
of those
impact us.
entities would have to pay.
I think that the library district, the flood control district, all those districts are under our control. But those ones are outside of our control, and we may throw some of them out of whack so bad they can't really make it up.
Well, I
So
know.
I like if I can get a sense of what's it going to do to AWC, what's it going to do to the eastern portion, schools in the eastern portion.
Yeah.
I know Antelope was $60,000-$70,000, and I think Dayton.
It's really
was
not
the
that
same.
much, is it?
It's not that much. It's those the allocation would be for those $153,000, but there's an interesting note. Something that general fund or the county can't do, but school districts can, is on next year, they can increase their levy to get this back. And the affected would be San Diego Gas and Electric mainly, right?
It's proportional.
If it's proportional.
Yeah.
General fund can't do that, but school districts have that option.
In other words, they can always go back to their.
They can raise their levy and pay it off.
Yes.
But the school districts can't pay it in payments. It's got to be paid back
in chunks,
quickly, in one lump sum.
Yes, actually it's already been paid, and it's been allocated to the general fund, but we can still do the adjustments and allocate the resources depending on the direction.
So Tony, essentially, you've got 153,000 divided up between the rest of the districts. The schools can be made whole again, and then it's just proportional for the other districts.
So it's been paid, it's just a matter of how to allocate it now.
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
And the impact that you expect, it's going to be minimal when you split $153,000 instead of 100.
And that's on 7 districts?
Including general fund, or?
Just sum total, yeah.
This is school.
If you get the 153 divided by how many other districts?
We already paid 44,
Yeah.
41. Don't include the general fund.
14.
14, okay.
Yeah.
14?
It's an average of 10, 12,000.
Yeah.
14
The problem
other
is,
districts.
the problem is if we have our
General fund.
Flood district, library.
flood district, for example, and the deck is only what, like $10,000, that leaves the other stuff. Or if we have the library district and it's only so much, very little, that leaves a lot of the burden on to the schools. That's why I wanted to have a better sense of what we're doing with the schools. And we won't do anything really to damage them. We just want them to know that we didn't cause a problem, therefore we don't feel the responsibility to pay for that.
Can we table this until we get a chart?
Yes, of course.
Now, I know Agua Caliente hit us hard, and now San Diego Gas. Have we had anything before this? I don't remember ever seeing anything like this come across.
No, I did some research on files we have, and I haven't seen a similar case. The only precedent is the delinquent accounts. So that's why we chose to use that approach last year.
Give us a chart, and I'm sure that when we see the impact it's going to have on the rest of the districts.
We'll help make a decision.
Do we need to make a motion to table it or
Table?
just table it? What do you want? Nothing? I can't hear. I'm sorry.
Continue.
Mr. Chairman, you do not need a motion.
Okay. Bring it back before us after we have a table.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the presentation. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Humberto. Appreciate it.
I really do need to see.
Alejandro.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'll start off with a state fiscal update from the joint legislative budget. Their latest fiscal report shows the state's finances remain solid into the 2026 legislative session. The state general fund revenues are up just over 5% year over year, about $1.56 billion in September, with a small $10 million shortfall compared to forecast. Overall, Arizona is tracking about $148 million ahead of budget expectations for the fiscal year. That's a healthy position as we look at potential state investment capacity. Broader economy continues to grow, though there are signs of cooling. Arizona's personal income grew 7.7%, which supports household spending. We're seeing declines in housing permits and tourism across the state, reflecting a softer consumer environment. Unemployment claims, however, are down sharply, 25% year over year, showing labor market remains strong. And the outlook, according to the Finance Advisory Committee, which reaffirmed a stable outlook for fiscal year 2026. As you may be aware, the ongoing federal government shutdown has halted the distribution of SNAP benefits, which affects roughly 900,000 Arizonans beginning November. Well, it began on November 1st, this past weekend. Governor Hobbs has announced a $1.8 million emergency allocation from federal pandemic recovery funds to provide short-term relief. About $1.5 million will go directly to Arizona's food banks, and $300,000 will fund new Food Bucks Now program, offering $30 vouchers for use at local farmer markets and community grocery stores. While helpful, this is small infusion compared to the $150 typically required each month to fund SNAP statewide. Some state leaders have proposed declaring a state of emergency or tapping into Arizona's $1.6 billion rainy day fund, but legislative leadership has declined to do so. Meanwhile, Attorney General Chris Mays has joined other states in suing the U.S. Department of Ag for not releasing a $6 million contingency fund for
$6 million, though.
What's that?
It's a $6 billion, not a $6 million. $6 million wouldn't do anything. It's a $6 billion referral.
You may be correct.
Price raise, yes.
Well, it's in the billions. I mean, $6 million wouldn't even scratch the surface. It's a $6 billion reserve that's supposed to be set aside for situations.
A typo, yes. Okay. On the federal side, as you're all aware, the ongoing federal government shutdown has caused major disruptions across multiple agencies, including those responsible for processing H-2A ag worker visas, which are critical to our local growers. In Yuma County, the winter harvest season is already underway, and our agriculture producers are encountering significant delays in getting their H-2A workers approved and deployed to the fields. Without these seasonal farm workers, the impacts are immediate and severe, but both economically and operationally for our growers and for the national food supply chain. The shortage of approved H-2A workers right now could lead to unharvested fields, reduced crop yields, and potential food shortages. This isn't just a local workforce issue, it's a food security issue, and as we like to emphasize, food security is national security. To address this, the Yuma County Board of Supervisors will be sending a letter today to Arizona's congressional delegation requesting their immediate assistance in facilitating the continuation or expedited processing of H-2A visa applications during the shutdown.
Alejandro, I thought there were some departments that weren't affected by the shutdown. Things like, Homeland Security, those type of things. I thought they wouldn't feel this.
U.S.
They're all considered essential to the process.
Well, they've got to work, but they're not getting paid.
Are they working and they're getting paid?
Not every it was up to every agency to determine who was essential on behalf of the government and then call them in. Department of Labor was shut down. They were deemed non-essential for the most part. The website to process the application was shut down, and that was deemed non-essential. And then the departments within USCIS and Ag and the multiple steps required, as it was explained to me last week, the key areas where they needed people to put the stamp on the approvals for the H-2A visas to come and process were shut down. Labor and USCIS are in the office today, and one additional agency, I don't remember if it was Ag, so that they can continue to process these applications. However, there's a bottleneck, and talking with local representatives of Ag Labor, they should have had them here working 10 days ago.
Yeah.
And so I had conversations with Senator Kelly, Biggs, Cisco Monte, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They've all been working to get with the secretaries to open up these agencies and start processing. It was reported on Saturday there was some headway. However, the bottleneck is still there, and we have vegetables that need to be harvested right now.
Thank you, sir. And lastly, I'm pleased to report that the County Supervisors Association Legislative Summit hosted here in Yuma was a resounding success. Yuma County welcomed representatives from all 15 counties, from all the other 14 counties, numerous state legislators, and agency partners. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Yuma County was recognized for its excellent coordination, hospitality, and professionalism. More importantly, the CSA Board of Directors formally approved both of our Yuma County legislative proposals for the upcoming session. First, our fire code proposal And the solar consumer protection proposal.
I thought the fire code inspector didn't make it.
No, it made it.
Made it.
Made it?
Yeah.
Thankfully, they both made it, yes, sir. So these approvals mean both items will move forward as CSA-sponsored legislative priorities in 2026.
Alejandro, thank you for all the work that you did on the summit and making it a success.
I'd like to recognize my fellow colleagues from across the county who also did an amazing job. I'd like to recognize Vice Chairman Lyons and his support with the legislative proposals and spearheading those two. And it took a lot of work, and thankfully it worked out.
The
It did.
Diet Cola
It
Light?
worked out.
That's my German. Can I get a Diet Coke?
Priorities.
Mr. Chairman, that will conclude my presentation to the board today.
Thank you very much, Alejandro.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to recess regular session. We'll convene into the executive session, and that'll be out of this room. Oh, we need a motion?
So moved.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will recess regular session and convene in executive session.
And of course, we can't Zoom.
Okay, you good.
We're going to reconvene the regular session, and we will open discussion action item. Board will open each of the following items separately for discussion action as appropriate. Number 1, county attorney, discussion and possible action regarding the flood control district.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the addendum as presented. Addendum number 1, which is item number 3 on the agenda.
I'll second.
Item number 3. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We go to current events.
I can tell you mine has all been about the conference, so.
Okay.
Everything.
Everything that I did was about the conference, and I mentioned my conversations with a lot of our federal delegation regarding the H-2A visas, amongst other things. Did have some water meetings and a concern again about the transfer station. I reminded them the transfer station in Somerton or South County would be opening up soon. Had some complaints regarding trash in that vicinity again.
On ag land?
On ag land. I was trying to remember who called me on that the week before last. But yeah, I reminded them that very shortly we would have that up and running and that there would be an area for disposal of trash in South County. Supervisor Reyes.
Oh, this week. Well, I was at the Supervisors Association meeting most of the week last week, and I think I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. later this week to receive an award as being one of the Rural Development Guy of the Year.
Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations.
I don't know. I didn't think I was going to make it. It's too close to an election, and everybody should be reminded that tomorrow is election day, November the 4th. But other than that, I think it's been okay.
Thank you.
Just held a community meeting, several different meetings with constituents and the other things that we've all attended as far as CSA and the joint meeting with Town of Welton and the ribbon cutting at Tack and Water.
I joined me with a ton of Welton where I got lost.
Yeah.
Spent half an hour trying to get
Thank you, Supervisor Simmons. Ian.
Thank you, Chairman. Attended the ribbon cutting for Good Habit Restaurant, which is right across the street there. Of course, Tacna Water dedication, work session with Town of Welton. Chaired the ASIP board meeting, YSIPTA board meeting, met with Southwest Gas regarding our upcoming franchise agreement negotiations, and of course, the CSA Policy Summit. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else? If not, we are adjourned.
All right.